Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on and slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
Let's get it. What's going on? Coach Marcus Pro Fan Talk. We are here. We are in combine mode. And technically, I mean, the new football season has started. Oh my God. What's up, Carlos? First out the limo, bro. Wait, watching the highlights intro, you were 42. Nah. So, where's my cursor? So that is a common question I get. No, as you see, my jersey is 46. The reason I had 42 was because they took that footage during preseason. And in the NFL, during preseason, you got so many people, you got so many players in camp that a lot of times you got to double up on the numbers. And then as the closer you get to the season and you've made cuts and things of that nature, you switch the numbers up. Usually they wait until once they make the final cuts and everybody gets their real number, right? So there's a lot of my content where anything in a media guide or anything like that, even my picture is number. You'll see that picture of 42, but it lists me as 46. So it was me, and there was a guy named Mike Reed. He was a cornerback from North Carolina State. He was a fourth or fifth round draft pick, I believe. He was number 42, but they doubled up on the numbers. Matter of fact, it was one time in a preseason game, we were both on kickoff coverage, and they had us lined up right next to each other. So, you know, if you're the gunner on the outside, then the guy in front of you. It was me and Mike Reed, and we were both wearing 42. And then the ref grabbed me and was like, "Coach, come on." And it was no big deal. If I'd have been on the other side, they probably wouldn't have said nothing. But it just so happened that we were both on kickoff coverage, and we were both rocking the same number. And the ref was like, "You can't do this." So that was a preseason thing. That's not uncommon, where you got to double up on the numbers and stuff like that. So yeah, that was one of those things, man. The Eagles was cheap back there, man. I mean, that didn't have nothing to do with the number situation, but it was just, you know, I think I told this story last week or the other day, I think, when I was talking about we never took a team picture that year with the Eagles in '93. We never took a team picture for whatever reason. We never had that day in preseason or the day after all of the cuts were made where everybody gets to, you know, puts a uniform on and they go sit in the stands and they take a team shot. We never did that. So in the media guide that year, our our team shot was an amalgamation of our mug shots. When you get to camp, they take a mug shot of you. Um, and it was after practice. We tired and ugly looking and all of that. And literally, it was a mug shot. And then they took all of those mug shots and put them together, and that was the team picture. But when you go into some of the pictures of in the media guide, then they gave us, if you made the squad, then you got your own layout, and I got my own layout, but we never did a team picture, man. So it was one of them things, man. But that was 46 is my number. But in most of the action shots that you see, like in the intro, and I got some more on my YouTube channel, um, I'm wearing 42. So I'm trying to get the game. I'm trying to get we played the Saints in Tokyo in the American Bowl in Tokyo. And I had a pretty good game that game. I caught a couple passes and I took a screen pass like 40 yards and got down to in the red zone. So I was trying to get footage of that, but NFL Films doesn't have a lot of stuff on preseason games and stuff like that. So just one of them things, man. I got it on a mini VHS tape or something, somewhere tucked in a box somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, man. But it's all good. Your last day of vacation, flag was flying. All right, Function, I got you. Where was you vacationing at? Let me see. Saw some good athletes today and not so good ones on day one, but I understand it's the first day of the combines. Yeah. The combines are exciting because the combine is for players that didn't get a fair shake during the season, or they didn't get a look during the season for whatever reason. You went to a small school, a bunch of different things, right? But and I was talking about this earlier, Carlos. You may have heard me earlier. The thing with the combine is, and matter of fact, I wish I could find this. Mina Kime said this on a tweet or something today, because she skipped the workouts, and her comment was, hopefully what you did during the year will stick, and that's the problem that the combine has created. Perfect example is you look at Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson was a beast at the combine. And I've said this before. Anthony Richardson is a bigger, stronger, faster version of what people think Jalen Hurts is. He can run the ball. He's got a absolute cannon for an arm. And he's 6'5". But he just ain't a good quarterback. And I think what Jalen Hurts did this year, people have gotten close. Lamar Jackson would have done this if he would have made it to the Super Bowl and or won it. But I think Jalen Hurts kind of did this. I won't even say he did this the first time we made it, when we made it 2 years ago, because basically he outthrew Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts had the better game in the air against Patrick Mahomes. We just got, screwed by the one call at the end. But for both games that we faced the Chiefs, we have outplayed the Chiefs at the quarterback position. And even that first time when we went, you got to remember, Patrick Mahomes was doing some shit that nobody had ever seen. Patrick Mahomes was just doing crazy backyard type stuff. And he was doing it on a consistent basis. And I remember saying, Jalen Hurts is the MVP of the league if Patrick Mahomes didn't exist. And I meant that. Patrick Mahomes was on a tear. And he still outplayed him in the Super Bowl. Still outplayed him. That defense lost that game. But you look at the difference in the defense in 59 than in 57. And we getting home without blitzing, all of that type of stuff. That defense was better. And that 2022 defense was damn good during the regular season. Hassan Reddick was on a tear. Fletch was still on a tear. BG should have been comeback player of the year. Didn't he have he had double-digit sacks? Didn't he have 10.5 sacks that year? either 9.5 or 10.5 or something like that. And Brandon Graham got screwed out of comeback player of the year because Brandon Graham was coming off of a Achilles tear, and they gave it to freaking Geno Smith. But that our team in 22 was tight, but this defense was so far and away so much better than what that was because Nolan Smith came into his own, because Jalen Carter. And think about where we were, or at least what your mindset was when Brandon Graham went down. When Brandon Graham came out of that game and said he had torn his tricep and he was out, we thought it was done. And let me be honest with you, Brandon Graham clocked some good minutes in that Super Bowl. That wasn't a courtesy. Brandon Graham was doing work. So the defense was so much better. And it's almost like unfair saying that because the defense in 22 was so good. But what we did this year with Vic Fangio, it was crazy. Now, I do believe that if the field situation would have been a little bit better, we may have had different outcome. But you can't really complain about that because they played on the same field. So that's a moot point. But this defense this year, the things that they did, and again, that stat in the Super Bowl, all of those sacks, and we never blitzed. We never blitzed. That's a defensive coordinator's dream, for your front four to do exactly what they're trying to do, exactly what they need to do. So that defense was so far above and beyond what we had seen before. And I'm even going back to, possibly what they did during the Reggie White days. I didn't get a chance to play with Reggie. I played with everybody. Reggie White left 2 years before. Jerome Brown passed away the year before I got there. Jerome Brown passed away in 92, I believe. My rookie year was 93. So Reggie was gone in 91. Jerome Brown passed away in 92. I get there in 93. But that defense, we still had Seth Joyner was outside. Byron Evans was the middle. Willie T was the other side. Wes Hopkins was back at safety. Andre Waters was at corner. Eric Allen was the other corner. Clyde Simmons was on the D-line. We had the William Refrigerator Perry was on my team. Randall was the QB. Herschel Walker was the running back. Calvin Williams and Victor Bailey. Victor Bailey was a rookie with me, but he was a second-round pick from Missouri. And he got in there and he clocked some good minutes. And Fred Barnett, so we had a squad, man. But as far as that's going in the offense, but the defense, we still had a damn good defense. We still had a damn good defense, with Seth being the captain in the middle, and EA in the back, and you still had them headhunters, Wes Hopkins and Andre Waters. So that defense was still tight. But what I saw this year, maybe one of them years with Trot and B-Dawk, when B-Dawk was like first or second year coming out. But even then, man, to get over the hump, and actually get to the Super Bowl twice in 3 years and win it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I saw that, Carlos. Nolan played the entire second half with a torn tricep muscle. Yep. Yeah. So, and we trying to run it back, Function. We definitely trying to run it back. So, it's hard to put into words, man, what you just saw this year. And I think because the narrative about Philadelphia is you get so much hate, and people, it's funny how people get real sick of talking about Philly so fast. But they'll go and talk about these other bullshit teams and Now the main guy everybody's talking about is what is Matthew Stafford going to do. You already know he's going to end up in Las Vegas. You already know he's going to end up with the Raiders. Tom Brady done got involved in it, and like for like. That's the type of quarterback that Brady was, except, he got what, 6 less Super Bowl wins, so um, he's gonna end up in Vegas. That's a done deal. So it's only a matter of time before they just sign the papers. Um, between Eric Allen and Bobby Taylor, okay, I can definitely see that. Yeah, Willie T is my dude, man. Willie T is one of my best friends, bro. I got to get him on the mic again. But yeah, Willie T should be NFL level ref this year. He been in the ACC doing college games for like the last, I don't know, 5 seasons, maybe 5, 6 seasons. So um, I'm thinking, just last time I talked to him, he was thinking that this year was his year. So um, I'm hoping to see T in the league this year, but we'll see. We'll see. You get that call when you get that call. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Willie T is my dude, man. Real tight with him. Um, oh yeah, I knew you. I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant because Atwater. I used to be a fan of Atwater down in Denver. He was a headhunter too. But yeah, I knew you meant Andre. I knew you meant Andre. Um, Rogers, so you think so? That makes sense. That makes sense with Devontae. They're gonna be a package deal. Ugh, I can't. You know what? I used to I used to despise Eli Manning, not because of him playing for the Giants, not because I didn't think he was good, or the reason why I didn't like Eli Manning was because of what he did in the draft. When he circumvented the draft and said he wasn't going to play for San Diego or whatever, um, and I took it as, well, how come he gets to be the one that can call his shot? I thought because if anybody else did that, they would be blackballed in the league, and but then you're talking about NFL royalty with the Manning family and all that kind of stuff. So as I got older, I understood what was happening. But when Eli Manning came out, I couldn't stand him specifically for that reason. Specifically for that reason, I was like, how come he get to do it better and can't nobody else do it? Because I didn't think he was that great of a quarterback. I still think, one of those Super Bowls, kind of lucky. And in my opinion, he didn't belong in the Hall of Fame as a first ballot. You can put him in there because he got 2 Super Bowls. So, but at first ballot, I didn't think so at all. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I've softened on Eli Manning, but um, Aaron Rodgers, man, like he just acted like a dick the last 2 seasons, man. And I don't say that often. That's the best way to describe it. He acted like that kid in high school. It's just like why you acting like such a dick, dude? Like that. Just like, what are you doing? Like just the way. And I'm sure people, that would probably say he's different if you get to know him, but he just he gives off that aura, man. And it's like he wanted like he thinks he's better than everybody. You can be better than everybody at football, but like don't act like you better than everybody because the blood is still red, and things can happen to you too. So and I used to like Aaron Rodgers because I wasn't crazy about Brett Favre. So when Aaron Rodgers came in, I was like, man, I hope he just obliterates everything that Brett Favre did. And then he acted the same damn way. Jordan Love comes in there and, he feeling some kind of way. But I understand the business of it, and that's the way it goes. But um, talked all that shit, wasted 2 of his years in New York. Now he's trying to salvage his legacy. because this last couple of years he's Hall of Fame material for sure. But his last 2 years, man, it's been a real black eye. It's been a real black eye. I thought he was gonna hang it up after he had that Achilles pop from nothing. That's when the expiration date on your joints is just like, hey man, you might want to sit this one out. So um yeah, DZ, I thought the exact same thing. Had that been a brother, had that been a black dude, a black quarterback or something like that, there's no way in hell that would have happened. And that's, I mean, back then, not that it was that long. Well, I guess it was now, but the isms and the isms was still real. So, you know, I didn't, I wasn't crazy about Eli. Like I said, I softened on him, but Aaron Rodgers, man, just uh pass on him. Yeah, yeah, but even now, they ain't go. You are not wrong at all, but they just gonna conveniently dismiss that fact. Eli with no All Pros means he was never elite for at least one season, and that ain't Hall of Fame worthy. I agree with you 100%. But two Super Bowls say otherwise. Two Super Bowls when you were didn't they win the Super Bowl as a wild card? Wasn't that the first time that Tom Coughlin won? So you got to take stuff like that into consideration because they wasn't supposed to be there and they got there. And people, man, oh, they will campaign for the wrong people to get all of the right awards, and it sucks. It sucks. So, you know what? I think Shador might try that because I think Prime got enough pull to do that. The situations are different now, so um, you can get away with that now. So because teams don't want to waste their time if you don't want to play for them. But because what they'll do is they'll either trade the pick or teams will find a way to um, make it work for them. So people can do that now. Yeah, Eli got two fluke catches. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Um, coach, there's a picture of a football coach at the Raising Canes in Richmond, Kentucky, but I forgot his name. I was wondering if you played under him. If it was Roy Kidd, then yeah, Roy Kidd was my coach. If it's in Richmond, Kentucky, it probably was Roy Kidd. Roy Kidd was Richmond, Kentucky. Born and raised in Richmond, Kentucky, coached at Richmond, Kentucky, at Eastern Kentucky, had a chance to go to bigger schools, but wanted to stay in Kentucky. So, yeah, Roy was that guy, man. I went to Eastern Kentucky from 88 to 93. So it was they had won a title in 82, 1982. So you got to remember, my first year of high school was 84. So I graduated in 88. I signed with Eastern Kentucky. So you still, and now mind you, from 82 to 88, when I signed on to go to EKU, they were like conference champions almost every year, OVC champions every year, playoffs every year. So people still knew who Eastern Kentucky was, and his name demanded a lot of attention. UK never wanted to play us. My junior year, we went down and played Louisville. We ended up losing like 23 to 15, I think it was. Great game. But yeah, Roy Kidd, he was the man down there in Kentucky. So that probably was a picture of Coach Kidd. You'll take Eli over a lot of people. You can have him. You personally think Michael Vick is a Hall of Fame based on how he changed the game of quarterback with his running ability? I could buy into that, but you still got to look at the stats. And they're not giving awards for who changed the game and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm not mad at that, but it takes There's been a it's a shame that somebody from hockey had to come and bring that to the attention of everybody. Like everybody that's in the NFL Hall of Fame shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. PK Subban said that. Hell, and most people don't even know who PK Subban is. One of the baddest dudes ever to come out of Canada and play hockey. And there's a black dude with Caribbean heritage up in Canada. It's a lot of Caribbeans up in Canada, Jamaica, and all of that. So, but PK Subban, I don't think he's Caribbean, but Jerome McGinley, a lot of good black players up in Canada, man. But PK Subban, for him to be telling on the NFL like that and speaking facts, not a good look. Not a good look. But same thing, I think he was saying about all sports, NBA and NFL. But it was an interesting conversation to hear PK bring that up. I said, damn. Lynn Swan stats aren't Super Bowl worthy, but them rings, yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people bring up that argument for like that era, that 70s era, because it was about the glamour. You're right. And I've heard that before about Lynn Swan not having great stats, but he was part of that, a big part of that team in those 4 Super Bowls for the Steelers. So it is what it is. That was the era you are in, because all of that stuff happened before like ESPN hit, and just the way we consumed information was a little bit different. So the thought process was a lot different back then. So would Lynn Swan make it today? Possibly. If you got 4 rings, you got 4 rings, bro. And he was a big part of them 4 rings. Don't get it twisted. So he did his thing now, jumping over trucks and all that kind of shit. So Lynn Swan was a bad man. Do not get it twisted. The greatest running QB of all time. He should get in on that one. Who's the greatest running QB of all time? Are you saying Vic? Because the argument would be Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts. Because somebody, I think somebody put this stat up. I think it was on a Twitter. Somebody put it on Twitter that as of right now, Jalen Hurts has more passing yards than Lamar Jackson. I gotta vet that. Somebody in the chat looked that up. So, do you feel Daniel Jones should have been drafted before Haskins? Probably not. But again, it all depends on what you're looking for. And what people don't want to admit, especially when you dealing with the white and black thing, a lot of people don't want to admit that that is a real issue. Especially me as a black athlete, but I played a quote unquote black position. I was a running back. You don't see many white running backs, but there are some good white running backs. You know what I mean? So, but quarterback was a different beast. My first year in the World League, Doug Williams was our coach, and Doug Williams used to tell us stories. Man, we used to just Doug would talk, and everybody would just stop and listen, because that was Doug Williams, first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl and be the MVP. And he was telling us about everything that happened that year, taking Washington to the Super Bowl, winning, being the MVP, and then they cutting him the next year for damn Jeff Rutledge. How does that treat you? All them years he played in Tampa Bay. Doug Williams started in Tampa Bay. But when he got to Washington, I say this all the time, right people, right place, right time. And Doug Williams took him to the ultimate end, and then they ended up letting him go anyways for damn Jeff Rutledge, who never did a thing. Certainly never got back to the Super Bowl. So even back then, the isms was for real, man. It was for real. So you already know, like somebody like Warren Moon, why he had to lament in the CFL for as long as he did. Lament is the wrong word. Apology for that, because they play ball in CFL too. But there was no reason that Warren Moon should have spent all of that time in the CFL. But he went with the CFL because they was gonna let him play quarterback, and he was balling. He was balling. Then finally, they let him in, and you see what he did. And can you just imagine if Warren Moon never would have played in the CFL? All of those years he played, just imagine if he'd have been in the NFL and had a squad around him. He would probably have every passing record out there. But didn't happen like that. Because back then, the isms was real. Yeah. Was that the Brady year with Brady and Randy Moss? That was the one year I wanted the Patriots to win, because I wanted somebody to go undefeated. And I wanted to see Randy Moss be a part of that team. And realizing now that Randy Moss, the best wide receiver in the NFL, arguably the history of the NFL, physically, Randy Moss and Jerry Rice is like LeBron and Jordan. Clearly, LeBron is the best physical basketball player the world has ever seen, in my opinion. I didn't see Wilt play, because a lot of people would argue that it was Wilt. But from a physical standpoint, LeBron is the biggest, strongest, fastest basketball player, and he got what, 3, 4 rings or whatever it is. But to me, Jordan is still the best. Jordan is still the ultimate competitor. Kobe is a close second. But for LeBron to be doing what he's been doing at freaking 40 years old is stupid. That is ridiculous. And he's still balling. So as far as like the physical athlete, it's got to be LeBron. But Jordan was just Jordan, and Jordan has the aura of bringing a whole league up to speed. Jordan has that aura, and most of the people don't remember that, and that's okay, because that's just the way that it goes. Jordan ushered in ESPN. Jordan dunks ushered in ESPN. Sports Center started with Jordan's dunks. You would get up early in the morning, and Sports Center would come on at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. They would just repeat the same stuff. But you always turned on ESPN. We would turn on ESPN before we went to class in college, so we could see the dunks, the highlights, and all that. Jordan ushered that in. And ESPN grew because of Jordan. So the aura around him is a little bit bigger than normal. And LeBron was just a physical freak. And the thing about LeBron that people forget is, as far as I'm concerned, LeBron is the only player that I can remember that came out of high school and lived up to expectations immediately. Kobe didn't even do that. Kobe, he had some growing pains. LeBron was immediately ready to go. So it is what it is, man. Uh, Elon. Eli is better than Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, both quarterbacks that were never sniff a Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't. I think Lamar will have one more shot. Lamar has one more shot. Josh Allen, I don't know. I think it's possible, but listen, don't be surprised if my boy Joey Burrow don't bring it back. But it all depends on what they do with that defense. So, um, I think it was Roy Kid. Yeah, Probably was Roy. His face is all around Richmond, Kentucky, bro. You probably see my picture around there and go to what's the name of that place? Dude, I played with him. He owns the bar down there. I think it's called Bone something. Because his nickname was Bone. His name is Jeff Gillum. Or maybe it's called Gillums. Maybe it's called Gillums. But we used to call him Bone. He owns a bar down there, owns a restaurant. And it is Coach Kidd all throughout there. Eastern Kentucky stuff. Because he was a backup quarterback when I was there. He was like 2 years ahead of me. But we played together for 2 years. So, and I believe he was from Richmond. So yeah, I believe it's a restaurant down there called Gillums. So you say Lynn Swann stats aren't Hall of Fame worthy, but his impact in those playoff runs and Super Bowl wins got him. Absolutely. Fax markers is Danny Hope. Yeah, I know Coach Hope. Danny Hope played. Danny Hope was, I think, a receiver. I think Danny Hope was part of that the last national championship team in '82, I believe. They won it 78, and then they won it again in '82, I believe. I think Danny Hope was part of '82. Oh, that's cool. He recruited you. That's cool. Did you meet Coach Teddy Taylor? Coach Teddy Taylor, Coach Blankenship, Coach Ison. Those are the guys that were around there for forever, man. Yeah, we were the powerhouse, man. I did bad things to Western Kentucky, bro. I did bad things to Western Kentucky, man. I used to go off on Western Kentucky every time we played them jokers. Every time we played them jokers. I did bad things to Western, man. Michael Vick was not ass. Michael Vick took the same course like Randall Cunningham did. If you look at Randall Cunningham's stats, look at what Randall did when he went to Minnesota. And somebody finally figured out how to use him correctly. He had all of the physical talent that you could ever want and could throw the ball a country mile. Randall was another freak. But Randall didn't. I think Randall was a better quarterback when he left Philadelphia and went to Minnesota. And Michael Vick turned into a good quarterback when he got to Philly. He could still run and everything, but man, he was dropping dimes, man. And so his last, I want to say like 3 or 4 years, when he got out of Atlanta, and Atlanta let him run everywhere, but like, what was you gonna do with that? Like, you can't. What was you gonna do with it? At least I give Lamar credit because Lamar can throw the ball. Lamar can legitimately spin that rock, man. I remember watching Lamar when he was still at Louisville, and I remember people doubting that he could be an NFL quarterback. Once again, we talking about them isms. They doubted Lamar, and you've seen the famous scene where Lamar was sitting in the draft room with his mom because he was the last pick, and then I saw Lamar. He had like 5 rushing touchdowns in a game against at Louisville, and I remember the narrative on TV was he's great, he's athletic, but he's not going to be an NFL quarterback. And then the next week, he threw like 4 touchdowns in the air, and I mean like dropping dimes, deep balls. And even when he did that, people were still like, "Well, he's not an NFL quarterback." And I'm like, and you kind of fast forward now to like all of the shit that they talk about Jalen Hurts, and me, I'm like, when you look at the stats, and you already know, I said this a couple times. I added this up. It was 45,000 passing yards that was on the bench or sitting at home watching the playoffs. 45,000. So I'll tell anybody, the best pure passer that I ever saw, because I was a kid when Dan Marino was throwing the ball, but I didn't understand what I was looking at. I just liked the Miami Dolphins uniforms. Dan Marino, people will argue, was the best pure passer, but the best passer that I ever saw was Jeff George. Jeff George could throw that ball a country mile, but he was not a good quarterback. Anthony Richardson is another one. That joker has a cannon, but he's just not a good quarterback. So hopefully this year, what Jalen Hurts has done is he has let people know that being a quarterback is more important than being somebody that can throw the ball 80 yards on the string. That's the most important thing. Because I know if you line up, if you strip everything away and you put Jalen Hurts versus Matthew Stafford, they're going to take Matthew Stafford. Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes, they're going to take Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts versus Jared Goff. Jalen Hurts versus Trevor Lawrence. Jalen Hurts versus whoever you want to put in there. Geno Smith. One of the kids, the kid down in Denver, Bo Nix down in Denver. You pick anybody. And Jalen Hurts is probably going to come up with the short end of the stick until you factor in that stat that everybody is looking for, the win column. And that matters. And I think this year, Jalen Hurts has shown everybody you ain't got to throw the ball 80 yards downfield. You ain't got to have a golden arm. What you do is you use the pieces on your squad to the best of their abilities. And the best coaches seem to do that. Jimmy Johnson was a master at that. Bill Parcells was a master at that. Bill Belichick was a master at that. Bill Belichick made Edelman a household name. You got one job, bro. Do your one job. Very similar to what Cooper Kupp was doing in LA. They got lucky with Cooper Kupp. They got lucky with Puka Nacua. Why did Puka Nacua, how did he come on the scene like he did? He ran a average to below average 40 time. He wasn't a burner. He didn't have great stats in college. All he did was made the most out of his opportunity. And Jalen Hurts is in the same boat. He was a second-round pick. They didn't think he was going to be everybody's heard all of the shit that they talked about Jalen Hurts. He's not a franchise quarterback. He's a backup, blah, 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 blah. Great. And another reason why you gotta take the combine with a grain of salt. Because there's always something that people are missing. Kind of going back to what Mini Khan said, hopefully your tape will speak for itself. This is it. Mini Khan, skipping the drills this year. Hopefully the tape speaks for itself. That's it in a nutshell. That is it in a nutshell. And you don't have to, but people get caught up in the combine and you forget what's important. And hopefully, once again, I think Jalen Hurts may have showed some people. Because I say like this: you go back to his rookie year, if Jalen Hurts or if Trevor Lawrence had Jalen Hurts' stats, Trevor Lawrence would have went to the Pro Bowl. But they didn't like Jalen because he ran too much. They want somebody to stand back in the pocket and just throw the ball everywhere, throw the ball everywhere, throw the ball everywhere. Even look at everybody that said that Tua was so much better than Jalen Hurts. When you think Tua gonna get to the Super Bowl down in Miami? They had good players. They had the cheetah down there. So you can look at stuff like that all the time, man. It's oh, you live in Lex? Okay. Yeah, one of my frat brothers is a doctor down in Lexington. Yeah, man. We used to party everywhere, man. Go down to UK and party. Go down to my twin sister went to Kentucky State. So my girlfriend at the time was at U of L. So man, we was all over the map, bro, down in Kentucky. Uh, yeah, you're not wrong about that, but he got better at the end of towards the end of his career. He was a much better passer towards the end. Yeah, I think Lamar is better than Vic. Absolutely, absolutely. I had, you know what? Hold on, I'm tripping. I meant to do this earlier, but I got so caught into running my own mouth. I meant to drop the link if anybody wanted to come in. I meant to do that early tonight too, because did it again. There we go. Every time I touch this mic, it's touched. So thank you for that. Um, do you think Howie's going to stay at 32? Or I think he's going to do some wheeling and dealing. He's going to have some picks ready and some trade bait ready to go up. So anybody that's still under contract and can be wheeled and dealed, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So I got to see. I'm not sure about James Bradbury, but he's out. Slay will probably be out. Milt Williams will probably be out. He gonna get his bag. Josh Sweat, I don't know. I think the people that I think he's gonna re-sign Zach Bond, and I think Mekhi Becton is gonna stay. I think Mekhi Becton has the opportunity to go somewhere and make a lot of money, but I think Mekhi Becton loves being in Philly and loves the situation he is. So I think he's gonna stay there. But Chris 3K, what's going on, dude? Hold up. Let me get you to the stage.
What up?
What's up?
What up, Coach? You got me?
I got you.
Oh, nothing much. Just glad to be here. Had a couple questions. One, how worried are you? I don't know if you answered this the other day or not. I ain't see it, but how worried are you about Zach Bond re-signing or not re-signing in Philly? That was the first part of what I had.
Zach Bond. I think Zach Bond is a number one on Howie's list. Now I know Howie does not have a good record when it comes to signing linebackers, but what Zach Bond did this year is unprecedented, and that's even after what's his name? What's the Mike backer we had that went to Chicago?
TJ Edwards.
TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards was another one that we shouldn't have let go, but we did, and but Zach Bond is different. Zach Bond fits Vic Fangio's style, and Vic Fangio likes him, where that element didn't exist when TJ Edwards was here. So I think Vic Fangio might have a little bit more say-so in that decision, as opposed to what happened before. So I think Zach Bond is number one. And like I said, I think I think Milt Williams is gone. I think Milt Williams is going to be like Javon Hargrave. He going to get his bag. I ain't mad at him. But we got Ajomo right behind him, so we good in that aspect of it. And Josh Sweat is interesting. I think Josh Sweat can make some money, but I think Josh Sweat, to a degree, is like Mekhi Becton. Josh Sweat don't want to go nowhere. He know where his bread is buttered.
Yeah.
So
I heard Vegas trying to throw the bag at him though.
At Josh Sweat?
Yes.
If it'll be like a trade or something like that, and how he can get picks for it, he gonna make it. He gonna make it happen. He gonna make it.
But
happen.
isn't he a free agent?
I don't know. Let me look that up. If he's a free agent, then I mean he gone. So
Yeah,
Make your
I
money.
believe,
Because technically,
I believe Milton will be a Pro Bowler next year. If he gets
yeah,
enough, where he gonna get them reps. I think he's gonna be a Pro Bowler next year.
yeah, but he gone. I
Could
think.
be.
Oh yeah,
Let me
it's gonna be
see. What
started somewhere.
Milt Williams though? See, Milt Williams could. Milt Williams is Hargrave. Milt Williams is exactly where Hargrave was when we got rid of him. For the same reason, he's relatively young and he's good. So
Yep.
if we can get, I don't know if Hargrave, not Hargrave, Milt Williams. Let me see what his contract situation is. Because it's all
He was still on his rookie deal, so I wouldn't even think no more than. And he wasn't a high pick, so I wouldn't think no more than two mil, maybe a year,
I think
3
Milton was a third. I think Milton was a third rounder.
third
yeah,
rounder.
he
I think so. Yeah.
where you deal. So yeah, so this is his. So he'll be a free agent too, because this is the last. This was the last year of his deal, and he balled out.
Milton.
Milt Williams did. Milt Williams came in 21 to 24, 21, 22, 23. Yeah. So this year was the last year of his deal. So he did exactly what everybody wants to do. Is you
If
play
you were
to
to
the
put
end of
it,
your
if you were to
contract,
put it
and
like,
that last year you have a hell of a year. That's your payday. That's your bag.
Yep.
if you were to put in like a vacuum, Milton Williams played very well for the reps that he got. Like if you were to multiply his reps, that's why I said I believe he's going to be a.
Uh-oh, we lost you.
You still got.
Carlos, you still there?
I think you lost.
Yeah, I
I
think
had
we
one
did.
other.
Come back
I
in,
had one
Carlos.
other.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I was another thing to flip it because I haven't you've had a stream, or I don't think I've been on since Patullo been named the OC. Just flip it to the other side of the ball. What type of things do you think is necessary for this? Well, not necessary because I mean, obviously we're the Super Bowl champs, but what type of things do you think could help the offense evolve next year, or what kinds of things? And do you think that there's another level that Jalen can get to, especially as a passer with Kevin Patullo in there next year?
See, I don't think it's about getting to another level with Jalen. I think if you're talking about another level,
Okay.
maybe give him, based on my study, when Jalen Hurts is right around 25 pass attempts a game, he's at his optimal.
Right.
When he goes above that, you get issues with turnovers and things of that nature.
Right.
So I think that can be better because I look at
Yeah.
you look at 2023, if the bottom hadn't to fall out the last 4 games or the last whatever 4 or 5 games of the season, Jalen should have thrown for 4,000 yards that year. But it was like just all of a sudden they pulled the rug under us, and it was, when it went bad, it went real bad. So I don't think I don't think he can't throw the ball or can't read defenses, like all of the crazy stuff that folks was saying. I just think he had a couple bad games. The Carolina game, he was not great.
Yeah.
And we had this conversation, man. AJ Brown was right. They had to work on the passing game, and people just blew that out of proportion. But Jalen Hurts can throw the ball. He can throw the rock.
Yeah, no, he definitely can. I don't think when you make the statement about the passing attempt, I don't think that's a Jalen thing. I don't think there's any quarterback in the league who succeeds throwing the ball 40 times a game. Because if you're throwing that many times, chances are you're probably losing, or you have no running game to support you. And I know every quarterback's best friend is a run game. I don't think that's just a Jalen thing where it's like, I think every quarterback, even Mahomes, I mean, when Tyreek left, he wasn't necessarily throwing the ball like 40, 50 times a game. They started running the ball a lot too, which helped him out. So I don't think, Jalen so much as far as it is, but I think last year they were ranked 29th at the end of the year. And obviously we still won it, but And I know Devontae was hurt games and AJ was hurt some games, but just
Yeah.
kind of was one that you thought about. Instead of maybe it doesn't have to necessarily be 4,000 or anything like that, or throwing for 40 attempts a game, but maybe if we can get up to like 15th or 16th somewhere in there, and just keep doing everything else we've been doing. Because I'm thinking if we lose a couple pieces defensively, let's say maybe the defense goes from this is working their first to third next year. Could the offense taking a step forward still keep the team afloat?
I don't even worry about that because I think I don't see them using Saquon like they did next year. I don't see Saquon going for another 2,000 because everybody's going to be keying in on him from the rip. So it's going to be more of a balanced attack. Like this past year, you couldn't Saquon was just that good. It's almost like when I used to coach Little League. There's always a kid on Little League that's so above and beyond better than everybody else, and like you got to give them the ball.
Yeah.
To the point where the parents be complaining about you, like give somebody else the ball. Well, not if you want to win. So what do you want to do? And that's how good Saquon was this year.
You know what's crazy? Coach? I'm piggybacking on what my brother was saying right here. I was actually talking to somebody earlier about that, about like all the yards, and it's like, yeah, you can make it look pretty, but it's like, what are their records though? Like, what is your record when you throw for 400 yards? I look at it like the equivalency of like an NBA player going for 40 points. It's like, yeah, you have 40 points, but a lot of NBA players who score 40 points many times have a losing record.
Losing record,
so like,
they don't
a lot of them.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't care if my quarterback throws for 200 yards, if he throws for 100 yards. As long as we win, that's all that matters. And I love my quarterback to not care about his stats. So,
but that's where I was
from with it.
That's the stereotype that everybody wants, and that's why I always use Anthony Richardson as an example. Anthony Richardson was with Shane Steichen, so if anybody can get the most out of him, it's Shane Steichen, and you got a bigger, stronger, faster version of Jalen Hurts.
The coach got Mike Mamula at quarterback,
basically. But he can't. This is what I said about Anthony Richardson. The dude has a cannon for an arm, guidance system not included. So he just not a good quarterback. And
they really took a risk on him because he was raw.
He did,
like,
but
he was a project.
But that's what I was saying about the combine.
Everybody they got fooled by the numbers.
Everybody gets enamored when somebody comes in there and they jump through the roof. And that's what Anthony Richardson did. He was a freak. But you still got to learn how to read a defense. And Anthony Richardson is what everybody thought Jalen was going to be. He can't read defenses. He can't process. He can't do this. All of these things that he can't. The only thing he can do is run the ball. Well, he showed you that he can. And not for nothing, everybody still feeds off that comment that Todd Bowles said when they lost to Tampa Bay his rookie year. Like, this kid can't read the defense.
Hey, coach, if you were his teammate, right? If you were Anthony Richardson's teammate the day that he said he was tired and he left the game, how would you look at him as a teammate?
You kind of,
especially him being the quarterback.
You kind of give him the side eye.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, he's not mentally strong enough to be a starting quarterback, in my opinion.
Here's the thing, because that's a very weird dynamic, especially at the pro level, because there's also an element of it doesn't matter what he does, he's the dude.
Right. I know it's not so black and white.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's not so there's a lot of gray areas. Yeah.
And I'm sure some people if they had any vets on their team worth they salt, somebody had conversations with them. So
almost definitely.
Yeah, so it probably rubbed some people the wrong way, but he gonna be the man this year too. So he'll have, the good thing about football is that year's over, so they can wipe that under. The only reason that's gonna come back up is if he does the same thing, or if he continues to play badly, that they'll always bring that up. So you got to play a hell of a lot better to make people forget that. And I don't think they got the team to do that. Because to erase that type of stain, you got to go to the playoffs. You got to go to the playoffs.
Fact.
So
That's a fact.
I'd never seen nothing like that before. I've seen players do that before, not a quarterback, not a QB. So that was a very bad look. So we'll see. I mean, what's the over and under before somebody brings it up again on ESPN or something? So it'll be interesting
Prior
to see
to
how they do it.
the first bad performance.
Exactly. So that how much better is that team going to get? So he got his work cut out for him, and he dug his own grave though. He dug his own hole. So he got to climb out the hole just to get even with everybody else.
He does.
So,
He has to do double.
yeah,
He has to have a good season, and he has to lead them into at least a playoff win.
man.
I don't think a playoff game will just be enough.
He gonna be running
You
around
know,
here like
maybe a
Malik
win.
Willis. And Malik Willis, as bad as they clown Malik Willis, at least Malik Willis won a game. He done won some important games.
He did.
He knew his role. They overdrafted him. He played himself into a great position. He is not a starting quarterback, but he played himself into a great position where he got his opportunity, didn't work out for him, and he's a backup. And then he came in, he won a couple games. So he will be a career backup. And you can make a whole lot of money being a career backup. So
some people just meant to be where they at. Some people just grow into that backup role and they become really good. You know, like you said, you could definitely make some money as a backup because if you play well enough, somebody's gonna give you an opportunity. Somebody is gonna be desperate enough.
It goes both ways though, because you've seen a lot of times when it's like, why would they pay him that much money? He ain't that. Like,
right.
what was Atlanta thinking? What was Atlanta thinking? Kirk Cousins, he ain't gonna take you to the Super Bowl. He had his opportunity and he could not get it done. Twice.
I'll tell you one thing, I'll shake his agent's hand though. I gotta shake his agent's hand.
Man, Kirk Cousins need to write a book. How to be a millionaire in 10 easy steps. Because
wasn't he the first one? Wasn't he the first one to get a whole contract guaranteed?
Something like that. He got paid in Minnesota and he got paid in Atlanta. I'm like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Minnesota, he got paid for like 80-something mil, all just straight to the bank account.
I think he hypnotizing them something. He got something going on. He got something going on because
he got that Bible in his hand, coach. He got that. He be hitting it with the Christian talk. He be hitting it with the church talk. That's what it is. He's like, no, the Lord is gonna bless you today. We're gonna win the game, and they distract you,
Bruh.
He gets you. Then he wears a chain after that.
Exactly. But I mean, he was good. He the same way. He was good until he wasn't. Then you saw because I got a couple good friends that are Vikings fans, and they were looking at your boy Sam Darnold. Same thing with him. He was good until he wasn't, and then when push comes to shove, and you get to the playoffs, you ain't get it done.
Couldn't that do something to you as a player, like psychologically though? Like you're a quarterback, right? And I understand the mentality for each position is different, but just as a competitor, as a player, like. In your position, coach, you're the starting running back. You're Bijan Robinson on the Atlanta Falcons, right? And they decide to draft another running back high. Mm-hmm. Like, how would you kind of look at that? Like, in the sense of like, why would you draft a quarterback knowing you just paid me? Like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about in the sense of just Kirk Cousins.
The one thing you got to understand at the pro level, they are not your friend. They're not. I can tell you all my accolades at Eastern Kentucky and 6.7 yards a carry and all-time leading rusher in 1AA history. My second year with the Eagles, they drafted a dude named Charlie Garner out of Tennessee, and he was nasty. And I saw the writing on the wall. I saw the writing on the wall.
Right,
like, what am I going to do?
Right, but what I'm not talking about I'm just talking about from the psyche of the player. You see that other guy getting drafted and he walks into the locker room. It's like, aren't you gonna kind of like
a lot of that?
Like, especially if you just signed me here to the team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand how kind of Carson Wentz kind of felt like when they drafted Jalen, like it was kind of like out the blue type of shit. But I understand as a player, you still got to put that out, and you got to still do your
Here's
job.
the thing.
You know what I mean?
It's a personality thing, because how I would react to it
Okay.
is different than somebody else would. It is totally a reality, a
Right.
personality thing. Now you got one,
Right.
you got one type of personality like Aaron Rodgers. They bring Jordan Love in, and he feeling some kind of way, and he didn't like the moves that Green Bay was making, so he went on about his business, forgetting the fact that they did the same thing with him and Brett Favre. They brought him in to back up Brett Favre, knowing that he was going to take over. They did the same thing, but he was feeling some kind of way because he was feeling the pressure from Jordan Love. So he walked, and you see how that turned out. Then you got people that's like, all right, you bring him in if you want to. He gonna have to beat me.
Yeah, I don't give a damn.
Exactly. So,
Right.
and then there's a reality to it that everybody knows. Like every day, every year, somebody's coming for your job. Period. Somebody's coming for your job. You can't never rest. There's always what the dude say on Yellowstone. There's always a bigger bear. There's always somebody coming in to take your spot. Every day somebody's coming in to take your spot, and you just got to battle for it. Period.
It's crazy. You're competing against other teams, and you're competing against your own teammates.
Even when
That's
you
wild.
even when you quote unquote make it, you can't get complacent because again, look at Aaron Rodgers. Everybody is one play away from glory or ruin. Everybody is one play away. Because listen, I'm a Christian and I read the Bible too. But if your Achilles pops, the Lord ain't gonna help you with that. That's 9 months of rehab. So everybody is one play away. Like I look at it. If you look at the Los Angeles Rams game, we were 1 inch, literally 1 inch away from our season being over. When Jalen Hurts gets bent backward and his knee gets trapped underneath, if his knee is 1 inch to the left or to the right, his patella tendon probably pops and he's done.
Yo, I thought he was finished, but I was like, yo, them squats came in the handy at that point, boy. Because
but that's my
anybody
point.
else leg would have popped. I really thought he tore something there.
One play away. One play away. Just imagine if that goes sideways and we gotta go with Kenny Pickett for the rest of the playoffs. Then the whole situation, if we make it to the Super Bowl, that the outlook is totally different. Totally different. Defense or not. So
we would have lost to the Packers.
Probably
with Kenny Pickett. We would have lost to the Packers.
But even with Kenny Pickett is a good example of like what you were talking about. Kenny Pickett has a winning record as the Steelers quarterback. And they wanted to get rid of him. And they did get rid of him. After they fired their offensive coordinator.
He got a Super Bowl now.
Listen, man. It's the right place, the right people at the right place at the right time. That makes all the difference in the world. For whatever reason, when Jalen Hurts got here and we had Shane Steichen, it clicked. Everything worked. And then that second year when we went to the Super Bowl that first time, I remember saying this. Jalen Hurts is going to be so much better because now he got the answers to the test. That second year with Shane Steichen, that was the first time in Jalen Hurts' career that he had the same coordinator for the second year in a row. That was his first time. And mind you, now we back to square one again. But now he's overcome that.
I could just imagine how Kenny Pickett felt though. Him growing up in the area, growing up an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
You end up playing for the team, right? That's got to be crazy at first. And then you end up winning a Super Bowl with the team. Man, that's a dream come true.
If they would have let Kenny Pickett play when Jalen Hurts got hurt, we would have beat Washington easily. But they didn't know what to do. So, and that's also
we could have went.
I'm almost positive Kenny Pickett didn't take no damn reps during the weekend practice.
I don't know. He probably didn't.
So you had
Some
to
backups don't take no reps like that.
So you had to take that into consideration. He probably wasn't comfortable running a lot of the offense.
Yeah,
So
and
that's
in the
just the way it
continuity,
was.
I'm pretty. You could tell him and AJ puts work in from time to time because he had already had that little chemistry with AJ.
Yeah,
Like you could
yeah.
tell he put some time in with him. But
It's a do or die thing, man. It's you say it like cliche, but it is a results based business. And if you're not getting results, you go in it and you already know your days are numbered. The only thing you can count on is if you were a high draft pick, if you were whatever your situation was, you got a contract already. The only thing you can count on is if you sign that contract, you know them checks are coming. That's it.
oh yeah,
That's why. What's his name? What was old boy's name out of Seattle? That broke his leg, broke his ankle, but didn't get the contract he wanted.
wasn't it Sean Alexander?
No, they carted him off the field, and he gave the coach the finger.
Oh, you talking about Earl Thomas?
Earl Thomas, yes,
the safety.
Yes,
we were supposed to draft him too, but we drafted BG instead.
Yeah, but look at that situation. Earl Thomas had played himself into a situation where he earned a better contract, and they didn't want to give it to him. So what he did was he played soldier, he played good teammate, and he got the worst case scenario. He got hurt. He didn't get his money, but luckily, he recovered and he got picked up by somebody else. But what can you do? He gambled and he lost because he was. I think he held out that year, and then of course you get feelings getting involved and your brothers, your teammates, and all that kind of stuff. But the business of it is nasty, man. The business of it is nasty.
It's a risky sport.
Don't give a damn, man, bruh.
It's a risky sport. You get 50-50 chance of getting injured every play.
And they will cut you in a hot second. Why you think Mekhi Becton is so happy to be in Philly? That's why I think Mekhi Becton is going. I think he has the opportunity to make a whole lot of money somewhere else, but I don't think he's gonna take it. I think Mekhi Becton is one of those guys that's very emotional, and that ties in. He's somebody that needs a good environment to thrive, and he has got a great environment with the Eagles and Jeff Stoutland and everything that they did. So I think he would pass up more money to stay in Philly because he knows he's going to be at his best in Philly. So
and on top of that, he's getting love that he's never gotten before in his career.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like he comes here, yo, Big Beck, and all that's like, yo, and then you win the Super Bowl, you at the parade, like, dude, like, I love Beck, man. I love Big Beck.
Dude was crying when we made the playoffs. We hadn't even done anything. We made the playoffs, and he was in tears. And I was,
you know what's crazy? When we won the Super Bowl and they showed him crying with his son, looking up and all that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that man had platinum teeth in his mouth. He had diamonds in his mouth.
Yeah, the grill.
I'm like, damn, this nigga teeth. Motherfucking teeth clean as a motherfucker. I'm like, hold up. Oh no, that's a grill.
Yeah, he was. I don't know what happened in New York, but some of them conversations can get real ugly when you're dealing with coaches. If you got a hard-nosed coach and whatever, mind you, he was the first pick. He was the Jets' first pick.
Wonder where he came from, because he sounded like did he go to Bama or something? He sounded like he went to a major school. He went to a major school, didn't he?
I want to say Ole Miss, but that's not correct.
But I tell you, I don't know what the hell Jeff Stoutland is drinking or eating at home, but keep eating it because you're like the magician when it comes to offensive linemen, man.
He went to Louisville.
Okay, that's definitely good.
He went to Louisville.
But
listen,
man,
Jeff Stoutland, when the Eagles were looking at possibly hiring Cliff Kingsbury to be the offensive coordinator, I believe that the Eagles would have hired him, but he wanted to bring in all his own staff, offensive line coach included, and Jeff Stoutland was off the table. Jeff Stoutland is Teflon, man. You can't. That is non-negotiable. And I think
Hell no.
Vic Fangio is the same way. So now we got two
Uh,
Hall of Fame coaches that should
I
not
was just about
ever
to
be
say
moved.
that. I was just
Should
about
not
to say
ever
that. I
be
said
moved.
those two guys are gold. Him and
Yeah,
Vic are
man.
gold.
Can't mess around with them,
Don't
dude.
touch them.
Don't
Don't
touch them.
mess around with them. They do whatever they want.
So
And Clint Hurt gonna be there too.
Clint Hurt, man, pay him whatever he
Keep him
needs.
there too.
Now you saw it, man. Clint Hurt knew exactly how to deal with Jalen Carter. If Jalen
I
Carter
remember watching him play.
If Jalen Carter was on another team, he would not have. He'd have been suspended. I bet you he'd have been.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
I don't know how that man is able to fit that neck and that head in them shirts.
That's a big dude, bro.
Clint Hurt's a big dude, man.
That's a big dude, man.
He's a big dude.
I remember looking
and
at
that man has
looking at some of his stuff when he was with Seattle. He was even bigger. Like he looked like he lost a little weight.
Okay.
So, but
he's in that weight room with the boys.
Yeah, man. We in a prime spot right now to run it back, and I think how he's going to do is how he can do no wrong in my mind. So I'm like, hands off, let the man cook, let him do what he does best, and this is what he does best. And don't be surprised if by the time draft day comes around and we sitting at number 32, if Howie ain't got like 5, 6, 7 picks to trade up and get in that top 15.
Abdul Carter's gonna fall right to us at 32.
I don't think they're gonna do that twice. I don't think they're gonna do that twice. I think
that would be crazy as hell.
I think somebody would draft him just out of spite. It's like,
I
no,
know. Just
let
out of
Jalen
spite.
Carter fall. We're not gonna do that again with the kid from Penn State. No. So
oh my God! Last year, no lie, coach. I'm gonna say the last. I want to say 3 seasons. Howie has drafted every player that I wanted. I wanted every single one of them guys from Georgia.
Howie's a genius, man.
And I wanted Quinion and I wanted Coop. And he got the motherfuckers.
The funny thing with Quinion, I remember seeing the article they did on him, or it was on ESPN or something, where he said that LSU wanted him to come to LSU. LSU wanted him bad, and they was going to pay him a boatload of NIL money. But he said he wanted to stay at Toledo because when nobody else believed in him, Toledo believed in him. And I was like, that's a high character aspect that nobody's talking about. And once we got him, I was like, man, y'all don't. And then when I saw his tape, I was like, damn, this dude just ran like a 4.37 or something. Like he got speed.
Yeah.
So I was like, we good. We good.
You know what I love about him and Coop is that they don't seem like they're impressed by any of this stuff. Like none of this stuff is like in awe. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like once they get on the football field, it's football. Like
yeah, they don't talk too much, and I like that.
Yeah, very chill.
We gotta. CJ Gardner-Johnson does enough talking for everybody. BG did enough talking for everybody. Everybody else, they feel those needs, and everybody else just need to just.
We already got BG 2.0 and Nolan Smith.
Yep.
So they ain't gonna miss a beat.
Nope.
So, but anyway, coach, I gotta get up for work tomorrow real early.
All right, bro.
I'm gonna head out of here, man. Always love, respect. I'm gonna definitely be on the next live with you.
I'm probably gonna go.
And
live
we'll see what happens
Saturday
during this draft night.
Because I'm gonna try to go live during the combine with the running backs. So
okay, all right, coach.
All right,
I'll see you then.
Be safe, bro.
All right, brother. Yes, sir.
My guy Carlos, appreciate the man coming on the mic, man. Anybody can come on the mic. Anybody can come on. I have dropped the link a couple times. I'll drop it again. Come on down if you got something to say. But yeah, like what I've been saying about Mekhi Becton, man. We are now a destination team. People want to come here, and we have a legitimate opportunity to run it back. So I thought we was gonna get into the tush push band, but we'll talk about that in another day. I think I'm gonna get up on that here, man. I got some things I got to do. I got a family function tomorrow night, so I probably will not be streaming tomorrow night. I'm probably gonna get a video up. I think I'm gonna get my video about mini comms and Shador Sanders. I'm gonna do that tonight. And then tomorrow, I'm not going to stream live. And then Saturday, like I just told Carlos, I'm probably going to go live. Hopefully, when the skill positions are running their 40s and working out at the combine, so that should be fun. So I appreciate everybody that came in the chat. Carlos and Chris 3K, of course, being on the mic. I appreciate y'all. Philly MM, Brian Stecker, Dark Bird Gang. And hey, man, 63 Mortis, y'all got to start coming on the mic, man. We're gonna start doing this more often. Going forward, every chance I get, every live, I'm probably gonna have I'm gonna drop the link so if people want to come on, and because it's a lot easier to have a conversation. So, and also let me remind everybody: next Tuesday, 6 p.m., Dave Spadero will be on my show. All right, I'm gonna get some promotion and stuff out very soon. But next Tuesday at 6 p.m., Dave Spadero will be on live on Pro Fan Talk. Next Tuesday, 6 p.m. So don't miss it, man. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Y'all have yourselves a good Friday. Be safe out there. I love you. God loves you. And I will see y'all in the next one. Go Birds.